Back again on the crash damaged C63. Now, although to the eyes it does look exactly the same as she did probably 2 videos ago, but we have been making some good progress. In the last video, we changed the coolant tank, which was broken. We put some new spark plugs in. We put some front windows in, which are tinted to high heaven. And of course, we cracked on with the airbags on the interior. I got so far with the Merc until realising I made a mistake, and also we have some parts which weren't quite right. I needed an airbag for this driver's seat. I needed a new curtain airbag because I had the wrong ones. I needed both rear seat belts. And of course, not forgetting, I broke the clock spring which is on the steering column, stopping all the steering wheel controls from working when I put the whole dashboard back together. But you'll be pleased to know that I've had a delivery. Inside this box should be everything we need to put the interior back together, and then I'm going to show you guys what exactly has came in this huge package right here. Let's get on with it. So now we have the correct curtain airbag. Now only one curtain airbag deployed in the car, and that was on the driver's side, and it should be fairly straightforward to change. And it's just a case of a lot of clips and 2 bolts which actually hold the canister to the roof, which you can see me tightening here. And then there's one electrical connector which goes to the airbag canister. Now you can see exactly how it's clips on here. It sort of pushes over a little knob on the chassis of the car, and then you slide the clip in place. And with the curtain airbag secured, I can start to put in all the trims and the rear handle as well. And no one would ever know that that was even changed, apart from everyone watching this video. Next up is the rear seat belts. Now in the seat belts, I believe there's a little sort of ball bearing which recognises what position the seat belt's in. So if the seat belt isn't mounted correctly, it'll be stuck in a lock position. Hence why if you go around a sharp corner in your car, your seat belt locks out. But in this instant, it's mounted correctly, so the seat belt does release. With both seat belts installed, I could start reassembling all the trims and the rear bench as well. And there you go, it's looking nice and fresh in the rear of the car now, like nothing had ever happened. Now thirdly, we're moving on to the glove box. There's not actually much wrong with the normal glove box, apart from that it's missing a handle. But it's actually really difficult to find the handle separate, and it was much cheaper just to buy a whole new glove box. Only around 20 quid off eBay, because they obviously share the same glove box as the normal C-Class, which is a little bit cheaper than the C63 parts. And there we go, a new glove box installed. Oh, the interior is starting to look so fresh and clean. It's actually in really good condition for the age of the car. Next step is the driver's seat. Now, as I mentioned in the previous video, I've never actually done an airbag in a seat before, but I assume it should just be like a bolt-in, bolt-off job. But, well, we're yet to find out. So here is the new airbag for the seat, which goes roughly around there. And from the looks of it on the back, it looks as if it screws in from the actual, well, from the back of it, from this side. So I assume we're just going to take off all this backing of this seat. I mean, it could be easy, it could be hard. I guess I should just crack on and do it. Now this could have been an easy job, but Mercedes decided to design this seat a very strange way. Now I tried for several minutes to remove the backing of the seat, which I thought would just clip off. And believe me, I tried everything and it just didn't look like it was going to budge. So it looks as if I was going to have to access the airbag from the front side of the seat, which meant removing the cushion on the bottom side along with all the electrical connectors, which include obviously the airbag, the heated seats, the electrical controls for the rail and the bolster adjuster as well. So there was a lot. Once I got the bottom of the seat off, I could then start peeling back the leather from the main part of the seat. And I was only hoping and praying that I was doing this right. And at this point, I'm starting to look at a backup. How much was a new seat? The cheapest one I could find, £1,000, which came as a set. So I really didn't want to mess this up. So I kept peeling the leather back in hopes to finally get to the airbag. And all of this work was building up my appetite. Now the time might be 20 past 8, but there is no rules when you can or can't have a Y food because it's going to replace my dinner tonight. Now you see, Y food is a meal replacement drink. It's not a protein shake, it's not a diet drink, it simply just replaces one of your meals. There is 26 vitamins and minerals inside this thing. It's high in fibre, high in protein, it's lactose free, there's gluten free, and there's no added sugar. That makes it the perfect meal replacement, and there's loads of flavours to choose from. The new packaging is 100% recyclable, and of course there's vegan options as well. So if you're constantly on the go like me and trying to stay healthy at the same time, then Y Food is for you. You can click the link in the description box below to get your Y Food taster pack where you can find your favourite flavour. And also, with this banner appearing underneath you right now, you're going to save yourself a nice little discount. So with some Y food in my stomach, I began to carry on tackling the seat. And it finally seems that I got the lever out the way enough to get to the 2 bolts at the back of the airbag, which you can see here. So I squeezed in my 10mm socket, and there it is, it popped straight out. And then installed the new airbag, which had an electrical connector and a ground wire connected to it. Pop back on the 2 10mm nuts, and then hope and pray that this thing goes back together and looks how it should. I got the top part of the seat on, then put the bottom cushion on and connected all the electrical connectors back up. And then it was time for some MA leather cleaner, which of course the link is in the description for. I can massage the leather cleaner into the leather and it's going to give it the nice sort of matte-like finish as it should come straight from the factory. With the leather treated, I can now reinstall the seat back into the car with hopes that everything still works.
Bang, and the interior is in. It's looking so much better. That was ridiculously long, changing the airbag in that seat. God knows why they just didn't make it so you could clip off the back and then just pop a new airbag in, but that is literally just Mercedes for you. One thing is missing though, and that is the steering wheel.
So in the last video, I broke this, the clock spring. This connects the electrics going from the steering column to the actual steering wheel. It allows the wheel to turn as many times as you like, well, normally around 2.5 turns, whilst keeping the connection with all the electrics. But I overspun it because when I was changing the steering rack, I moved the steering column too many turns and ended up breaking it. So this is gone.
Now, instead of replacing it like for like, I've gone for a newer clock spring of the newer Mercedes. You may notice an extra stalk here, which we're not going to need. This has got drive, neutral, reverse and park, but obviously on the C63 we've got that in the center console anyway.
Now bear with me on this.
So this is the steering wheel that the C63 comes with. Now this one is a newer steering wheel, and then this one is the steering wheel that I want to put on.
Why have you got 3 steering wheels and only 1 car? Well, let me explain.
To replace this steering wheel with this steering wheel, you need to make sure you've got all the controls that you have on here. So you have up, down, left, right and OK, and you also have plus, pick up the phone, drop down the phone and mute and everything like that. Whereas on this one, you only have up, down and then a home button and a back button, which is different to that one.
Hopefully you're still with me.
Now on this steering wheel, I've got up, down, left, right, OK and back, exactly like the old steering wheel. So what I need to do is replace these buttons off this steering wheel, put them onto the steering wheel that I want, and then get the new clock spring, put that onto the C63 with that steering wheel, and hopefully it'll work.
Or it might not. There's only one way to find out. Let's get doing it. So I can only hope that that makes sense for you guys. But yeah, upgrading anything through the models is going to be a little complex and a little complicated. I'm just hoping from what I researched is right, as it looks as if the new steering wheel will not work without the new style clock spring. But once you've got the parts out the way, it's fairly easy to install. And how much better does that wheel look?
That is looking sick. It has updated the interior so much. It looks like a newer Mercedes now. The question is, it looks good,
But is it going to work? I kind of don't want to be sitting in this seat when I turn the key, because this will be the first time I've actually turned the key since having all the airbags in. We may still have an airbag light on because we might need to code it out. I assume we're going to have to because, well, most cars you do. But this will literally be the moment of truth. Does it work? And if it doesn't, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to sit in this seat actually. And also, yeah, we do need to order this back in because obviously we had to modify that and it was not quite right, but here we go. Okay. No airbags went off, which is good. Oh, the horn isn't connected, so I can't test that anyway. The horn isn't connected to the front. Have we got any buttons on here? I'll lower this down on here. Let's see if I can loud it up. Moment of truth. No! No! It doesn't want to work. Does anything work? I've got nothing. My hopes and dreams of having this steering wheel on have now been crushed. Why does it not work?
Are you sure we plugged everything back in?
I've done something wrong and I'm going to investigate. I'll check back with you. Okay, so we found the issue. The clock spring off the new one, would you believe it, this one's broken as well. We've just taken it out here and you can see the ribbon which actually goes into it. Well, it's not connected at all. The idea was we was going to change the clock spring off this one onto the old one and then see if that works, but when we had a look we found it, well, this is broken as well. So what are the chances? What are the chances? So looks like you're not gonna have a steering wheel for a bit. So the new clock spring that we got sent was broken as well. So just to get us moving, if we need to move, I've popped on the old steering wheel, but yes, I've ordered a new clock spring, but I might just be sticking for the stock steering wheel for now. Okay, so lesson learned. We tried to do something special, but it didn't quite work. Well, this time it wasn't actually my fault, it was just a bit of bad luck. Now, I haven't actually started this thing since I've put the spark plugs in, which I probably should do. So let's get this thing started and I'll explain the next lot of fixes. Now, we're still going to have an array of lights on the dashboard, but let's see if this starts. Hey! She's running good. Okay, so the first thing you'll probably notice that the fan is constantly running. That's because it's in like a safety mode. Now the reason it's in safety mode is because these two wires here should lead to an ambient air temperature sensor, which actually measures the temperature sensor outside the car. Now if the C63 doesn't know the outdoor temperature, then it's just going to spin the fan around constantly, because making the car cooler can't really harm it, but making it too hot obviously can. Now I've got the temperature sensor, but I haven't got the plug which goes to it. That's on order from Mercedes. And also these two wires here should connect into here, which is the oil cooler fan as well. Again, I'm waiting on the electrical connector from Mercedes. But there's one thing that has came, and that is the ballast for the headlights. Now if you remember, these are brand new headlights, but they came without ballast. We was lucky enough to be able to swap the ballast out the old one on this one, but on this one, this car didn't even come with a right hand side headlight. Now these headlights, they basically have two ballasts, and what the ballasts do is control the power going to the headlights, and they go here and here. There's one big one and one small one. Now what I found on the old one, the ballasts have a part number which is a Bosch part number, and that actually shares the same part number with a lot of BMWs, Volvos, Minis, and even some Mitsubishis. So I've taken the risk and I've ordered some ballasts which are actually listed for a BMW instead, as they were at a cheaper price. And after reinstalling it and turning the headlights on, they worked. What a relief. Now dreams come in all shapes and sizes, but two working headlights for me is good enough. Next up is the windscreen. The guys at Screensaver Nuneaton, who always pop down to change all my windscreens on the car, pop down to change the windscreen on the C63. The cameras which sit on the windscreen will need to be calibrated, which Screensaver will do as well at a later date. Okay, so now we have a new windscreen and it's starting to look a lot better, which brings me on to this. So I had this delivered the other day and well, you know what, let's just unbox it and then I'll explain. Now I could get this part completely wrong, but that's why I've got Chris, the fact finder, who is on it for me.
Thanks, Matt. So the Mercedes Black Series was released in 2012, featuring more power, 500 brake horsepower to be exact, and a launch price of £100,000. But only a limited number were made. The looks were dramatically changed, with wider arches, wider wheels, and more vents. But the Black Series only came in a coupe. How strange. This has been Chris Slicks for Max Facts. I'll see you next time.
Thanks, Chris. That is right. Well, at least we think it's right.
So what I have here is a Black Series body kit for the W204 Coupe.
Now, I know what I said in previous videos about me buying fiberglass body kits, but I've done it again.
In all fairness though, I didn't actually know that this would have been fiberglass, but I think it's going to work to our advantage. Actually buying a front bumper, a grille, arches, we need new side skirts as well because these are damaged on each side. It would have been a lot more expensive buying those genuine parts from Mercedes than it would have been buying this Black Series copy body kit.
But it all comes down to whether I can fit it and whether it's going to look any good as well.
So the kit comes with wider front wings, and as you can see there are a lot wider from standard. Let me show you the stock one. That is the stock wing, and well, actually it's not too much wider, it's a little bit wider, but the main difference is going to be at the rear. Now the rear of the C63s, well, they've not got much flare in the arch at all, and that's going to run along the rear door, along the rear arch, and of course the rear bumper as well. It comes with side skirts, a front bumper, a rear bumper, canards, and loads more bits and bobs. Now I'm not actually sure how many people have actually fitted a Black Series kit to a saloon, and as far as I know, there's not many. And there could be a pretty good reason for that, but I'm excited to start getting this kit onto the car and see what it looks like. And of course, we need to do something about the power as well, because Black Series are over 500 bhp, but we're still a long way from all of this, I guess.
It's definitely not going to be a 5-minute job, but this is going to turn out to be one of a kind C63 as always. So if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.
Just a little teaser, how sick and aggressive is that looking already?